my name is Kenna Allen, and the story I will be sharing today is about a book my mother gifted me when I was a child. This book is called The Paper Bag Princess, and I've used the moral of the story from this book to kind of shape my life's decisions and people who I surround myself with in the relationships that I have created growing up. So the Paper Bag Princess revolves around three main characters: a young princess, a young prince, and a dragon. So the young princess and the young prince are newlywed in their new castle, and unfortunately a dragon comes and burns everything they have, the new castle, all their belongings, their clothes, everything. And with that, the dragon also kidnaps the prince and hides him. So now that the princess is all alone, she has nothing to wear, she still has her crown on, she eventually finds a paper bag and she puts it on and leaves to go find the prince. And this is a long journey, especially in a paper bag, but ultimately she finds the dragon. And instead of bringing weapons or using violence against the dragon, she uses her wit and she tricks the dragon into racing her. So she ends up hiding behind a tree while the dragon goes back and forth and back and forth, and ultimately the dragon gets very, very, very tired and falls asleep. So now that the dragon's asleep, she's able to escape into where the prince is being hid, and she saves him. But instead of the prince being happy that the princess is there, he's upset because she doesn't have her beautiful princess gown on. She's not clean, she has soot all over her from the fire, and he's upset that she doesn't look pretty. Well, I mean, she just went all that way to save you and tricked the dragon, and he's gonna be upset about the way that she looks. And she ends up just leaving him there. She doesn't care, you know? She found strength in herself and is proud of herself, and for her to be dealt with that manner of disrespect, she doesn't have it. So she's just walks away, a lone princess. And just growing up with, stories of the prince saving the princess, the damsel in distress, my mother gave me this book, I think, to show how strong you can be, and how for relationships, it doesn't matter about looks. It should be how the person sees your soul and your energy, and not by your looks. So, I mean, I was a little kid understanding this book. It was so great to see women in power, but I think another moral was missed when I was young, to not use my wit, and kids are they're not level-headed like they are as adults. So in first grade, I was playing on a monkey bars, and I didn't realize that my pants had ripped right down the crotch. It was so embarrassing, and I'm swinging on the monkey bars, and one of my classmates, a boy, was telling everyone how he could see my undies and what color they were, and how he's going to tell all the boys, and how embarrassing it is. And I just remember seeing red, and I remember being red because I was so embarrassed, and I went over and I slapped him. I gave him a good backhand, and I just remember seeing him cry, and in the moment, I know a first grader, slapping a boy, you feel proud, but after the guilt of him telling on me, after having to tell my mom and having to go to detention, just the guilt of not using my wit to just let it pass over me. So I just remember being very embarrassed when I had to go talk to my mom about it, and we ended up sitting that night and rereading The Paper Bag Princess and going over how I could have changed the situation, and how I didn't need to smack him, I didn't need to make him cry. I could have used my own wits, and probably would have been better to show him that I wasn't embarrassed. Yes, so what? My pants ripped. Okay, there's always the future. I just, in the moment, you're not level-headed, especially when you're young. So I think that this book was always very important to me growing up, and even now. That was first grade, now I'm a junior in college, and I still think about that story and how I use it to guide my relationships and guide who I become friends with at this new college. I'm a transfer student, so this is my first year at Chico, but I went to a community college and took classes there so I could transfer, and just, to find people that don't just see you for your looks, to find people that will accept you for who you are and accept you even in moments of, saving them. It doesn't matter what you look like. It matters that you are a good person and that you care about the people that are around you, and the people around you should feel the same. Thank you.